Greetings, gaming citizens. Mike here. Welcome back to another video. It's January, so it's time for another Nintendo Direct predictions video. Every January, I always am just in the speculation mood because it's a brand new year, so there's always something new to be guesstimating when it comes to Nintendo. And I feel like this year is going to be a little different. We'll get into that in just a moment. But with like Nintendo Switch 2 speculation going wild right now, I think it's just going to be an interesting time between whether or not this is just more support for Switch or if this is just going to be a lighter offering of game announcements to prepare for the Switch 2's launch library. That remains to be seen. So, as usual, I did my research with going through release calendars to find out what is coming out for Switch in the first half of 2024, because that is usually what is in these February Directs. Yeah, let's just get right into it. So, starting with the first-party offerings, we've got Mario vs. Donkey Kong on February 16th, a game series that I'm pretty sure nobody asked to come back, but hey, it looks neat. I feel like this will happen. I feel like the Direct will happen on the release date so that Nintendo can be like, you could order this game now, or you could play this now. That sounds like something I would do. In March 22nd, we have Princess Peach Showtime, the game that is making my inner theater kid squee a little bit. This does look pretty fun. I kind of want to get my hands on it. I feel like we know just enough about this game that we can jump into it and still be surprised. Like, there's probably some Princess Peach costumes that we haven't seen yet that will be exciting to come across in the game. So, overall, that is looking to be a pretty cool game. In Q2 2024, no actual release date, we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a HD remake of my personal favorite, Luigi's Mansion. I understand that might be a hot take. So, yeah, release date would be preferred. So, Q2, that's going to be anytime from April to June. I don't really have an estimate for when that's coming out, but all I ask is that we maybe get Luigi's Mansion on Switch as well, like the first one, considering we don't have the first game on anything other than the 3DS. That please just have the trilogy on Switch. No reason not to. In 2024, in general, we have the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remaster. I know a couple streamers and creators that I follow are super excited for this, myself included. Some kind of date would be nice, or even just a range, kind of like what we have for Luigi's Mansion 2. I don't know why, but my gut's telling me it's going to be a fall release. Don't quote me on that. It is founded on literally nothing. Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is something I have in my notes, because as we know, with Metroid Prime 1 Remastered, that kind of was just thrown into a February Direct and then came out before we knew it. I wonder if Nintendo will do that again. I'm not getting my hopes up. Again, this is founded on nothing, but would be cool to see. Speaking of Metroid Prime, I'm going to keep saying it, Metroid Prime 4. Eventually, I'll be right. I can hope. But what I can definitely guarantee is some of these third-party games coming out. You see, that was a cool little transition there. So, starting off with third-party games, we have the remasters of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 coming out February 14th. So, if you don't have anyone to spend Valentine's Day with, Lara Croft can fill that gap in your heart for that day, I suppose. To each their own. On February 29th, we have Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster. So, a remaster of the 1995 game. Star Wars games generally have been pretty good. Mostly. So, sure. Why not? I don't really have much to say about this one, can you tell? March 8th, we see Unicorn Overlord. It's definitely a unique title. Tactics RPG by the developers of 13 Sentinels and Odin Sphere of Vanillaware. They've been making kind of a resurgence lately. If you remember, I reviewed one of their games last year, Grim Grimoire Once More, remaster of that kind of tactics game. So it seems like they're really going back to their, I guess, would it be roots? Because I don't know, they're going back to like more tactics stuff, or they're bringing back more tactics games. So if you like tactics, this seems like an interesting game to get your hands on. Speaking of tactics, or I guess RPGs in general, March 22nd, we see The Legend of Legacy HD, a remaster of the 2015 3DS game. I don't have much to say other than it is published by NIS America. So if you want to see me cover that, let me know, and I can ask for a review copy. I've never really heard of Legend of Legacy, but maybe it's one of those sleeper hits that I'm not aware of. Feel free to let me know. On April 23rd, we are seeing Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, a modern spin on the JRPG series with 100 playable characters. I don't know how that'll feasibly work, but they somehow made it work. The director of this game also worked on Suikoden. So if Suikoden is something that you are interested in, this might be good to have on your radar. Also on April 23rd, so technically I'm having this in third party because it's an EA original, but as far as I know, this could be classified as an indie dev. We have Tales of Kenzera Zao. I'm personally excited for this because if you saw the Game Awards where this was revealed, the kind of introduction or the premise of it was that the developer's father passed away, and he made this game kind of in tribute to him. And the gameplay just looks fantastic. Just look at the trailer here. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on this. It looks amazing. Just a couple days later, on April 25th, we are seeing Saga Emerald Beyond, a new mainline game in the Saga series since Scarlet Grace in 2019. Although I think Japan's last main series game came out in like 2016, so it's been a long time coming. This looks beautiful. I personally want to pick this one up. I've never played a Saga game, but I've heard they are generally pretty good. So it could be another good RPG series to get your hands on. And then closing out April, on April 30th, we are seeing Braid Anniversary Edition, a remaster of the 2008 puzzle platformer with what I think is an interesting painted art style. If nothing else, play it for the art style and stick around for the platforming, I suppose. Definitely looks interesting. I've never really heard of Braid, so I might have to give this game a shot. Going into the indie games coming out, we only have a few here, but definitely some interesting ones coming out. February 15th, we are seeing Gunvolt Records Psychronicle, a rhythm game spin-off of Azure Striker Gunvolt. As far as I know, Azure Striker Gunvolt has just been kind of not lesser known, but, you know, just a niche series. So to see it get, like, spin-offs, clearly the series has enough support to justify going into, like, a rhythm game spin-off. So if you like Azure Striker Gunvolt, or you just want another rhythm game, there you go. February 22nd, we see Open Roads, an interactive mystery thriller. So if those kinds of games, I feel like that's like a very specific niche if you're into like interactive thrillers. But if that's something that, you know, you're really looking for more games to get into that have you exploring, well, I guess exploring a mystery, kind of like good old Scoobert Doobert, then Open Road seems like the game for you, coming out February 22nd. Just a day later, on February 23rd, we are seeing Prominade. Inspired by 3D platformers, it's a platform game where different objects allow you to traverse levels in different ways. There is a demo available on Steam if you don't want to wait until February to try it. For some reason, in my research, Promenade does not have the demo on Nintendo eShop, which I think is a little strange, but yeah, February 23rd, another platformer. You can't really go wrong with those. June 30th, we see Penny's Big Breakaway, a 3D platformer with an emphasis on chaining combos of tricks with Penny's yo-yo. You know, a yo-yo-based platformer was not on my bingo card for indie games, but, you know, this seems pretty unique. And from the trailer, it looks like a fun time, so I might actually give this a shot myself. And then closing out the indie category, we have Rift of the Necro Dancer in Q2 2024. So once again, that's anytime from April to June. A lane-based rhythm game. Kind of different from the typical like adventure-style rhythm-based gameplay from the other Necro Dancer games. You know, it's hard to go wrong with Necro Dancer. Their music is always fantastic. If you like rhythm games, definitely consider giving this one a try. And as much as I want to say Hollow Knight Silk Song, who are we kidding? I mean, I'm just going to say it anyway because, again, eventually I'll be right. And then I can have the satisfaction of saying I predicted it for the past, 3 years? But I'm not holding my breath on Silk Song. But that's roughly all I have in terms of predictions. I think it's just going to be, like I was saying at the beginning, it's going to be like a smaller direct. It's going to be more of a focus on third-party support because I feel like with how few first-party games are really confirmed to be coming out and how most of those are coming out in the first half of 2024, I think Nintendo is just really gearing up to bolster their library of Switch 2 games for launch. Just kind of what I've noticed from the first-party offerings for 2024. But let me know what you think in the comments down below if you think that there's still some huge titles that Nintendo hasn't dropped yet that are coming out for the Switch in 2024. If you think that we're just going to be cruising through year 8 of the Switch, with Switch 2 being like 2025, let me know what you think Nintendo's really cooking in the comments down below. Stay vibing and thriving, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.